mother's fight, escaping the Australian wildfire. The sun was setting, but the sky was far from calm. A wildfire was raging across the Australian outback, casting a crimson glow over everything in its path. The land, once lush and full of life, was now a fiery inferno, as towering flames danced higher and higher, devouring trees and everything in their way. Thick black smoke billowed into the sky, choking the air and casting everything in an eerie haze. The sound of crackling flames and the blaring sirens of fire trucks filled the air as emergency vehicles rushed to the scene, their tires screeching across the dry earth. From within the heart of the chaos, a mother kangaroo emerged, her body nearly breaking under the weight of exhaustion. Her fur, once thick and soft, was now burned and singed, exposing raw, painful patches of skin. Her body, covered in blisters and scorched wounds, was also swarming with ticks, mites, and parasites, all clinging to her fragile form. These creatures had found refuge in her pain, making every breath and movement even harder for her. Her body trembled, but her spirit remained strong. She wasn't just running for herself, she was running for her Joey. Clinging to her back was her tiny calf, its small arms wrapped tightly around its mother, shivering in fear and confusion. The Joey's tiny face was buried in the mother's side, seeking comfort and safety from the unbearable heat. Together they bounded forward, driven by nothing but the instinct to survive. Every step was a struggle. The heat from the fire was unbearable, and the smoke thickened, making it harder to breathe. But still they ran, pushing past the pain, each step bringing them closer to a chance of survival. And then they reached the fire trucks. The moment the mother saw the flashing lights and heard the sound of the trucks screeching to a halt, a wave of relief washed over her. But she had little strength left to move. Collapsing near the fire trucks, the mother kangaroo lay on the ground, her breathing shallow and labored. Her exhausted eyes flickered between the humans who rushed to her side, their faces masked with concern and determination. Two firefighters knelt beside the mother and her Joey, their hands moving quickly but gently. One firefighter, his face covered in soot, knelt beside the mother, carefully inspecting her wounds. His hands were steady as he gently touched her scorched fur, feeling the raw, burned skin beneath. His heart ached as he saw the extent of her injuries, but there was no time to waste. Without hesitation, he reached for a bottle of antiseptic and sprayed it over her, washing away the ash, dirt, and parasites that clung to her skin. The spray stung, and the mother flinched, but she didn't pull away. She knew they were trying to help, and despite her pain, she allowed them to work. The other firefighter worked quickly to check the Joey, assessing its condition. The small animal was trembling with fear, but its body showed only minor burns compared to the mother's. Gently, he wiped the Joey's fur, brushing away the soot and checking for any wounds. He whispered reassuring words to the calf, trying to soothe it, while his hands moved carefully over the tiny creature's delicate form. Once both the mother and Joey were stabilized, the firefighters wrapped their bodies in sterile bandages, covering the worst of their burns. It was a small act, but it brought a sense of peace to the situation. The mother, though still exhausted and in pain, glanced down at her Joey, her protective instincts kicking in once more. She was not ready to give up, not yet. The mother cradling her calf in her arms, her eyes still filled with worry but now tinged with hope. The ambulance's doors slammed shut and the sirens wailed as it pulled away, racing toward safety. The truck rumbled down the smoke-filled road, carrying them toward a place of care and healing. As the ambulance sped away, the wildfires continued to rage behind them. The world outside seemed to be on fire, a force of nature beyond anyone's control. A sense of calm. The heat of the flames, the chaos of the forest known of that mattered anymore. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, the mother kangaroo could relax, knowing that her Joey was safe. The road ahead was still uncertain, but for now they were together, and that was enough. They would be taken to a wildlife rehabilitation center where they could rest, heal, and be watched over. A new chapter was about to begin for this small family, one that didn't involve the suffocating heat of the fire or the terror of survival. This chapter was about recovery, about finding safety in the midst of destruction, and about the deep bond between a mother and her child, fire could ever break. In the end, it was the quiet kindness of strangers, the firefighters, and wildlife caregivers that had made all the difference. And for the first time in what felt like forever, the mother kangaroo could allow herself to hope again.